Hello, 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 and welcome to tonight's episode of Weekly Comic Book Movies with myself, ZodWriter, and Ashley, the widow. What's up,
Hi.
Ashley?
Hi, it's good to be here. How are you?
It's just great to be here. I was I didn't want to make it seem like I was coming to the other stream to pull you from
No,
that
I
stream.
was already I
I was
looked at the
lurking.
time.
I was lurking. I was just irritated with some of the stuff I was hearing on that stream.
Yeah,
So that was why I didn't come on the stream. And I
we
actually
all should hold hands and be
there's
friends.
actually a well, and then there's somebody on there that I vehemently disagree with and don't really get along well with these days. So I just decided to keep my distance and not show up on that stream. But I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that I'm here, and I'm
Yes.
glad we could talk about a movie today that is a new movie that just opened up. So this is kind of cool because normally we're
Yeah.
talking about older stuff. We got
Hmm.
Sith Holocron here who says, yes, I would love to hear what you think. Well, you're definitely going to hear what we think today, and you're going to hear about Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange in the
Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness. Um, right off the bat, I want to say that I thought I found the movie in one word to be very interesting. Um, I was really, um, and I wasn't too surprised by a lot of the stuff that we saw in this movie. Because unlike what some other people were trying to claim on the stream that you were on, that scooper that he was talking all that crap about was right about a lot of things in Multiverse of Madness. He got a
Hmm.
lot of things right, and the thing is, you know what a lot of people don't understand about scoopers and stuff is when they get their information, they're getting information and they are delivering the information that they hear from their sources. They're not pulling stuff out of thin air, pulling stuff out of their butt and saying, okay, this is going to happen in the movie. That's not going to happen in the movie. They're not doing that. And the entire time, they're telling you, take it with a grain of salt. This is what we're hearing, da, 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 da. So at no point do I feel like, uh, in the case of, for example, I'm gonna give them a shout out, Sil Abdul and Mikey Sutton. At no point have I ever thought that Sil and Mikey are just doing a grift. Mikey is a legitimate scooper. He's been in the scoop game for nearly 30 years. He's done a lot of stuff. He's gotten a lot of stuff right, particularly when it comes to a lot of this DC stuff and these last couple of Marvel movies that have come out, in particularly No Way Home, and then of course Multiverse of Madness. He got an awful lot right about that. So I just want to point that out and say that because there's a lot of misinformation going on in regards to that. So I mean, I think that needed to be said. Darkness Under the Wind says, "Sup, everyone, can't stay, but just wanted to say hi, and we'll actually be seeing Doctor Strange 2 in an hour." Oh, okay, awesome. Late night show. Well, I don't know where you are in the world, but it would be a late night show if you were, where I am or where Ashley is. You probably, So, how was your experience, Ashley? What's your initial word that you would use to describe Doctor Strange 2 at this point?
Um, Different.
Different.
Uh,
Okay.
and if from the MCU formula, like the MCU type of thing.
Really?
Um, yeah. Very. I actually enjoyed it. I mean, the script had some issues in the dialogue. But overall, I would say I enjoyed it. I've now seen it 3 times already, so I
Excellent,
saw it
excellent. Well,
twice yesterday,
so you
and then
you
once
are. I
today.
saw it one. I saw it once today, and I was exhausted when I came back from the film.
Oh gosh, that means he doesn't like it.
I was exhausted. No, no, no. I normally I get Normally I get exhausted when I go to the movies. It's
Oh,
just
I
kind of
thought you meant the movie
a
exhausted
thing.
you.
No. Well, the movie did exhaust me, but not in a bad way. I mean, I went into it, expecting certain things, and there were certain things that I expected that were in that movie. And again, it's a very interesting thing, because what I find so noteworthy is the way the movie started out was so comic book, so Marvel, so classic Marvel comics. The way it starts out, where Doctor Strange is thrust right in the middle of something, where it doesn't. And I thought that was cool. Like, that kind of took a page from No Way Home, where the movie starts out and you're just like right in the middle of the action, which I thought, made a lot of sense for this story. And I was and I love the concepts that they threw in there, how they made the idea that, dreams are essentially windows into different universes. And I think that's a cool concept for the multiverse. And it may, you dreamt it, but it really happened. And I mean, I started latching onto all of that stuff, and trying to dig deep into that, because that stuff is really interesting to me. How were you with the beginning of the movie?
I like that we were kind of like off to the races from the beginning, because it's also, we had the great, because it was kind of, even though it was it was his own thing, we already had a little bit of information from the things that happened from WandaVision, the post credit scene with her already, kind of starting to be corrupted with with the Darkhold. And then we know from where Strange ends up, after the events of Doctor Strange. So it was kind of like it moved at a rapid pace. And I like that. It was just, but then at times I felt like it was so like off to the races. And it was like, I felt like I wanted more. And like, so there's like the 30 minutes that they did cut out. I wish we got some of that, in the middle of the
An
film.
extended cut.
Yeah. Like, or just like, it just leave it in, work it out, fix it, make it work. Like I really would have liked to have seen that, some of that stuff in that. But overall, like I really enjoyed the film. Like I said, the dialogue, like I really hated the first time I heard her say, when they said other you or other me, and then it just like became a thing, like, well, maybe there's a other me, like, and it was just like other me's. It's like, we know, maybe you all don't know, like, I wish that they could have said variant, even though maybe they don't have that vast knowledge of like the stuff with the TVA. But it was like the other me thing was like slightly
They're
annoying.
simplifying it. They're simplifying it because of the audience.
But
Again,
you could say a variant.
Marvel movies are meant to
But we
appeal to
learned from
everyone.
we know what variants are from Loki. So she could have said a variant is a different version of you, like how she gave us the exposition in the pizza pub. Like we could have, like, they're not that dumb. You know what I mean? I
No,
feel like,
no, but I think the whole thing is they just wanted to go, again, they're trying to appeal. So what they're doing is essentially trying to buy the dialogue, and I get what you're saying about the dialogue. I felt like they were going for straight up mass appeal. So this is people who, so even if you're like you're a diehard MCU fan, so you're gonna be there no matter what. You're gonna be there seeing it. So they're not worried about you. They know that you're gonna go along and you're gonna be interested in it. They're not worried about someone like me who's a comic book movie fan and knows all about that stuff too. They're not worried about us. They're worried about the normal people that just go see all these movies just to go to the movies, and they don't want them to be confused. So these are people, they're doing this for people that are like just going to go and watch the movie and haven't watched all of the MCU stuff, don't watch the shows, aren't steeped in the lore, just people that like to go to these movies. So they want to make it as simple as possible for them to understand. And I'm sure if they would have said variant, there would have been some people that would have been confused and didn't know what they were talking about, and there would have been all these different things. So again, you're trying to get, with a big movie like this, you're trying to get mass appeal, and you're trying to explain a convoluted and confusing plot to people that just want to go watch a movie. And I think that's a lot of what we got here, and this is a reason why some of the dialogue
It
came
just
off
didn't
as
make
very
sense to me
hokey
because
and
Michael
direct.
the same writer wrote of Loki. Michael Waldron wrote the
Yeah,
script,
yeah,
and maybe he had variants, and maybe the hokey style of Sam Raimi was like, oh, it'd be cool if we said other me, and like he okayed that, and they changed that up. I don't know. It just like I think that people can get, like, if she says, a variant is a different version of yourself, like, an alternate version of you. It was just like, if they would have said it one time, but
that's
it was
true.
just
They
like
could have done that, and then they
other
could have used
me,
it.
other me. It was like they used that phrase like so much in the movie, and maybe that's I just didn't like that. And then so that, I mean, I didn't care for that. I feel like I would have liked to understand, add like a little bit more information. What's not the strange that that was, the supreme strange that was killed, but the when he goes to see like the evil strange, like, I wish we could have had more context and more understanding. Like, yeah, we get that he couldn't get Christine in any universe, but I wish we could have had a little bit more time with him with that, that moment, like flashback, anything. Like, I
Yeah,
wanted to see something, because it felt like, at times it was a lot of tell me at times, show me when it
that
didn't
was
get.
disappointing, and I was actually hoping for the Watcher from the
Yeah, that would have been great.
from What If. I was, because I remember you and I had been talking about that, the idea of Jeffrey Wright voicing that character and playing that character in a live action film would have been fantastic to see. So that was kind of a disappointment that they didn't delve into that, especially since that What If episode about Doctor Strange and the evil Supreme Strange and all that didn't really connect. And that's what I mean about this movie trying to appeal to everyone, because again, there wasn't a lot of connective tissue. Like, I thought that this movie was going to almost have like some direct sequel references to that Doctor Strange What If episode. I kind of had these thoughts of it kind of organically, especially when you see Strange in America going through all the different, when she's flipping through different universes, and they're actually, I don't know if you noticed this, they were actually in one briefly for a second or so.
Yeah.
There was an animated universe, and then they went
Mhm.
into one that was, which literally looked like the artwork of like What If, the cell shaded, the cell shaded animation that they use for that. And then of course they went the universe where they're paint and all that, and they kind of, so I found that fascinating, how they tried to show us a few different universes, but I was expecting a lot more in terms of what we were going to see. I mean, as far as cameos go, if you wanted to see cameos of different characters and things from all across MCU lore, you're going to be very, very disappointed. There's only a handful there, and a lot of the ones that we got were ones that were pretty much telegraphed from the beginning. I don't really think there was any surprises, to tell you the truth, with hidden characters from the MCU. Um, I wasn't surprised to see to see the first Avenger. I wasn't surprised to see Captain Marvel, and I wasn't surprised to see Reed Richards either. Yes, we're spoiling the movie. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. I thought the movie was underwhelming, more hype than anything else. The movie felt like season 2 of WandaVision that landed on the CW's Arrowverse. The movie played like a Legends of Tomorrow episode. That's something I wanted to point out to you. Did you feel like this was a season 2 of WandaVision done in a movie? Because I kind of got that vibe, especially the first time we see Wanda and she's in the house with her kids.
With her dream, when she's dreaming.
Right. She's dreaming and she's with the kids. And at that moment I was actually thinking, oh, we're back in WandaVision. I wasn't sure that they were going to continue to go with the motif of dreams being doorways with her. I had the impression for that brief moment that maybe she was in her own little world again, like she was in, like how she turned the whole town in for WandaVision. So that's what I was
essentially
thinking.
she was, because she was, I mean, she was, in that, like a cabin in the woods,
Yeah.
To me, it didn't feel like WandaVision season 2 at all, because I feel like it was very much, I mean, yes, she had her own arc and her own story in the film, but Strange had, a very important arc, and even America Chavez. So I felt like for her character, WandaVision showed how she got to where she was.
Yeah.
But to me, it was very like much a Doctor Strange story. She was just amazing as the villain, as the antagonist,
she
character.
definitely played the villain role well. And for fans of the Scarlet Witch, this is the character you've been waiting for, essentially.
Yes.
I can't look at this character and say they did a bad job turning her into a villain, because she was essentially sympathetic the whole time, and it makes it and I felt like it was a very organic transformation.
Yes.
She was doing things the entire movie that she didn't really want to do, but felt justified because of the circumstances.
Yeah, I agree.
And so when I look at her character, when I look at the Scarlet Witch character, and I look at what we've got there, I feel like she's come a long way, and it was nice to see Scarlet Witch fully realized on screen. I mean, we got a little glimpse of it in WandaVision, a little bit of a glimpse, but here, she went full Scarlet Witch, and she was a true. I would have to say, in my opinion, she's the best MCU villain that we've ever had. I don't think they've done a better job developing.
I mean, I ranked her as number 1 when we were ranking like our top 5 MCU
Oh, really?
villains. Yeah, she was number 1. Yeah. I put her number 1. Oh, yeah, it was like probably before you came in the stream. We were talking about, after we did the spoilers, the question was about, who are your top villains or stuff, and I put her number 1.
Yeah, I think she
love
is.
Wanda.
I agree with you.
Wanda can't do no wrong, in my opinion.
But I agree with you as far as an MCU villain, and the way that she translated as a Scarlet Witch as a comic book character. She has a lot more of her comic elements here in this movie. She felt more fleshed out, villainous, someone you would not want to run into, and she was merciless as well. Like, there were things she did in this movie that I couldn't believe they went there. There's some things that I was really, really surprised about. Like, spoiler again, how she literally wiped out the Illuminati.
She absolutely did, and I didn't like the Illuminati scene. Really, that was like I mean, I like what she did, but I feel like them being there was such a nothing burger. You know what I mean?
But yeah. I kind of okay. This is the way I was kind of looking at it. Like when you have almost like the Avengers, where you bring a group of heroes together, And in this instance, they were brought together as kind of like a console kind of a thing, where it just and honestly, I got goosebumps when Patrick Stewart came out in the classic X-Men animated series wheelchair, and they played a small snippet of the X-Men animated series
Yes.
theme.
Yeah.
That gave
that
me
all that was
goosebumps.
cool.
That was
I'm just talking
fantastic.
about the amount of time that they were in the movie,
Yeah.
was a nothing burger. But like the two people that, like, the main one that I thought was really cool out of all of them was Professor X, especially, and he got his own, like, his, like, all the other ones were like lined up as a team, effectively.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they all got,
That,
boom, boom, boom. But his death and Black Bolt's death, I thought was like, it's like, oh wow.
but she removed Black Bolt's mouth
And he
to
killed
start,
himself.
and yeah,
So I thought that was cool.
it was
Like, but the way
crazy.
it looked. But then
And
but with Professor X, oh my gosh, like, he's like, she comes in and she looks like a zombie, like, in the red, and then she snapped. Oh my gosh,
yeah,
that I
that
could
was
not believe
almost
they
that
snapped
felt
his
like
neck.
that felt to me like that was a callback to the What If episode, Marvel Zombies.
Well,
Like
yeah,
all the zombies that we saw in this movie,
well, they
the
were
zombified
really, well, the
people.
one was a zombie. I don't know why she looked like a zombie, because that didn't make any sense. Like, he looked like a zombie. I mean, I guess she was using so much of the dark hold that it was making her whole body look old, like it did in WandaVision. Maybe with Strange, it made sense because he actually dreamwalked into a dead body. You know what I'm saying? So effectively, but I don't, but I thought that it was cool, but it was all the zombie stuff, because even Captain Carter died the same way as zombie Captain America.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
with the slit by the shield.
That's a great point. And here's the thing, you know, Reed Richards, uh, John Krasinski, Marcus Cruz, you got your wish. You got what you always wanted,
And I
what you
felt
on
like it was a
every single
miscast.
yeah, you got what you wanted every single stream. You talk about how you want John Krasinski, and ironically, you're not here tonight, or at least if you are,
I
you're
mean,
not saying anything.
he earlier, when I said what I said, he was like, well, y'all want to race bend then? Just because I said that I didn't like it, John Krasinski.
No,
He's so
but here's the thing. I didn't have a problem with him as Mr. Fantastic. I was just underwhelmed by his performance. He just came off to me as bland and boring. I didn't really get the.
I don't think
He didn't
that, I
come
feel like
off
he
as
might be
Mr.
miscast a
Fantastic to me.
bit. Yeah.
But here's my question, though: did they do that? Have him in there and have Wanda kill him off just to address, the fan outcry for him to play Mr. Fantastic? Because I have a feeling that he is not going to be the MCU's Mr.
Oh,
Fantastic.
he's not.
I think he was just Mr. Fantastic in this movie, in this universe. And we've got Mr. Tony Robinson in the chat with us tonight. Good to see you, Tony. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was underwhelmed by Reed Richards. And I agree with you. I don't think that he necessarily came off convincingly as Reed. I was bored with his performance, and when Wanda killed him, I actually thought that was super cool. I mean, when he extended his arm out and that was it, it's like, yeah, what are you gonna do, Reed? You don't have any real powers. Yeah, you can stretch yourself out, but that's not gonna do anything against Wanda.
Yeah.
I think the thing with a lot of the deaths too is it demonstrated how weak of a team that this Illuminati that they put together really is, because they were all short work for Scarlet Witch. I mean, she just wiped the floor with all of them. It's not like they had anybody like major there that could actually fight her. Doctor Strange, and then America put up a good fight, which I thought was cool, and that was by design too, to show that you know you need a more powerful you need more powerful heroes to go up against Scarlet Witch. This Illuminati thing was just a joke. None of them were gonna do anything. Like, and even I don't know. I found the Fantastic Four costume that Reed Richards was wearing to be kind of hokey too, didn't you? Like, it didn't look just. It just kind of looked like, what is this really a modern version of what the Fantastic Four suit would look like? I mean, because
I
for me,
liked his suit.
did you really? I don't know.
It didn't bother me, but I mean, I can see where it might, you
I don't
know,
know. I was getting like Walmart vibes when I seen it, when I seen the black
Walmart
four and
eyes.
I was getting Walmart vibes from it. Speaking of Mr. Fantastic, he did one of the dumbest things anyone could do. He revealed their secret weapon
I
to
know.
Wanda, and she kills Black Bolt immediately. Dumb move. Mr. Fantastic, highly intelligent and made really dumb move. Yeah,
Yeah, it didn't
yeah.
make sense.
No, it didn't make sense. It didn't make any sense at all. I'm gonna say,
I did not like that version of.
yeah, he's a uh, being somebody brilliant. It's like, come on, you're and here's my question too: where was the rest of the damn Fantastic Four? Don't tease us and show us John Krasinski, especially if John Krasinski isn't going to be the MCU Fantastic Four. You could have had a multiverse version of the Fantastic Four and given us some sort of glimpse of what that team could look like. You might as well have had them in there because
Yeah.
Reed Richards didn't have anything to do for this movie. We've got Alex 3.0. What's up, Alex? In the chat, he says, I saw the movie this evening. Sam Raimi did a good job with a mild script, especially with those classic Raimi horror elements. The movie was just fine, but not great. See, and that I can understand that. Now, I will say that from a comic book perspective, I enjoyed this movie for what it was, because I felt like into they went into depths that they normally don't go to with these movies. Like I said, Scarlet Witch totally taken out the Illuminati was super cool to see. Even though a lot of them died in dumb ways, it died because of stupid things. I just think that it was cool to see her go that far as a character, and that totally fleshes her out as a merciless villain. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What do you think of the use of Captain Marvel in the movie?
I didn't like her. Really.
Oh.
I mean, it was like, I felt like she was like, I don't know. I just didn't really care. Like with the Illuminati, the ones that I liked really were Black Bolt, right? I really liked him.
Absolutely.
I really like Professor X, of course. And I liked Captain Carter, and Mordo. Because of like the whole, the history between him and Strange. So I really didn't like her that much, and I didn't like Reed that much. So
nah.
and
miscast.
Yeah, I really believe. I agree. It's like a miscast. Like I think it's not a good casting decision.
And now we know that all those pictures that were leaked online of like this flaming dude, that they tried to make it look like it was Tom Cruise's Iron Man. Now we know what those photos were. Those photos were of Captain Marvel. And they just doctored,
which I said, like everybody.
Yeah, you said that, and they just photoshopped Tom Cruise's face.
No, it was still her face. It was her hips and her, like, I think it looked like, if anything, to me, it looked like a black man for a second. But it just, Yeah, Daniel, that was my thing. That was really a weird Illuminati group. A simple. I really thought it was kind of weird. Like I know Captain America is not there, so we got Captain Britain, right?
Right.
But it
Black
just was so
Bolt's head
small,
popped like a boiled
underwhelming to
egg in
me.
a microwave. Yep, you sure
Yes,
did.
I like it. I was like one of his side of his head caved in, and the other side completely like went.
Yeah, Daniel, it was Anson Mount who played Black
Yeah.
Bolt. Same actor. Yeah, he was.
I mean, I kind of hope he does come back because he's not. I mean, I think he was in a bad show. You know what I mean? But he's not bad as Black Bolt. You know, and he looked really cool. What do
Yeah,
you think?
yeah.
You don't like it?
We needed Superior Iron Man.
Yeah, RDJ. No, we don't need. I feel like y'all gotta wait. You don't want to get everything all at once, do you?
But I'm saying Superior Iron Man would have gave more weight to this Illuminati team, and
Yeah, because he's
Superior Iron Man would have
because
been.
Iron Man is yeah
So to
yeah
me, I feel like
makes
that was a
sense.
missed opportunity. They give us Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four that everybody's been wanting to see, but see, they made the mistake of teasing this whole concept of Tom Cruise as Superior Iron Man, and there were, remember there were rumors that Tom Cruise was on the set. He was seen where they were filming and all this stuff. I gotta wonder if he was actually supposed to be in this movie, and maybe they decided not to do it, or maybe they shot scenes but didn't incorporate him into the movie for whatever reason. I don't know, but let's see. Black Bolt's head popped like an implant. Yeah, absolutely. Tony, you're right. I it was definitely a brutal way to go for a lot of these characters. And Professor X, they made it like he just had a stroke or an aneurysm or something, and the way the way she did him, very short work. Um, I don't know. Is this? But
What was
I
you
don't know.
saying?
Were your expectations, since you've seen the movie 3 times, right? 3 times.
Hmm.
Were your expectations mostly met for the movie?
I think that they were the only two things that I was like kind of hoping for in the movie. Um, is the one is I wanted to have some introduction to some mutants. You know, I was hoping we would get a hint
Yeah.
for that. And two, I just wanted a post credit scene with Deadpool. That was it. But it's not like I died on the hill for
I
it.
mean, we got this. Okay, so we get the character that the we get the cameo the kind of cameo that we get in all of the Sam Raimi movies, and that was a wasted post-credit scene. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not even gonna go into it, the post-credit scene, because I feel like well, there were two, but one of the post-credit scenes was a complete throwaway that we really didn't need. And it could have been used for something else. So I think it was just thrown in there for comic relief. Ashley, do you think that Monica has her powers in that universe?
Um, her daughter. I mean, I don't know because this version of Wanda. I mean, unless she got it in some other kind of way, unless this version of Wanda created her children, but outside of the hex. I mean, like it just seems like I don't believe, but she's not the Scarlet Witch, so Monica could possibly have her powers, but let's like what according to the MCU, how would she get them?
Yeah, exactly. A Mordo on the Illuminati. I know it's a multiverse, but was any version of that character in the Illuminati?
Huh?
The question was Mordo on the Illuminati. I know it's a multiverse, but but was any version of that character in the Illuminati? Not that I could recall. Maybe
Black Bolt.
Mordo.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
I don't recall. I don't recall in comic book
I thought
lore
that too. Actually,
Mordo being a part of the Illuminati.
no,
Ever.
he's not. No, he's not.
Never.
I'm sorry. I thought you were asking. I thought you said something else. I'm so sorry. I thought you were saying, are any of those characters in? Sorry guys, I misinterpreted that.
Okay, well, Tony Robinson says that Ashley, your pick for Reed would be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell
Gordon-Levitt.
Interesting. He's definitely old enough now. He could do it. I think
he's leaner, and I think that he can play this like really like stoic, smart guy.
Yeah, poor Charles Xavier is right. He got murked really.
Him and redheads just
easily.
Don't get along. He
doesn't
get along.
Not cool.
He's overpowered redheads and killing Professor Xavier.
And it irritated me too that it was the animated series X-Men Xavier that had to go out like this, because that's, to me, is the definitive version of Professor Xavier. So when they did him like that, I was like, look, I loved his introduction, I loved the music, I loved how they brought him in. I thought Patrick Stewart had the best intro of any character in this movie. I really felt like they did a great job with him. Alex 3.0 says John Watts dropping out of Fantastic Four kind of makes it look like there's an opening for Krasinski to direct it. Yeah, I think that our good friend Marcus Cruz is going to get his wish. I think Krasinski is going to direct it. If I had to bet, that would be what my bet would be. I don't necessarily think that Krasinski is necessarily going to be Reed Richards in the main MCU timeline, but we could be wrong, and he could end up being Reed Richards for the upcoming film as well. I don't know. I thought that too, Ashley. That would for sure we'd for sure get a mutant introduced in this movie, or an explanation for mutants coming into the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wanted that weird my bad about
MH, which version of the Illuminati? I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead.
Mordo was an original member of the Illuminati, if I remember correctly. I think you're going back really, really far then, because you'd have to go back. I think you'd probably have to go back.
I thought it was Brother Voodoo, if anybody. Was he?
Mm-hmm. I have to go back and check. Wow, that's a real. That's interesting. I'm actually going to go back and look now, because I want to see what Mordo's first appearance with the Illuminati was actually like in comic book lore. Because in any of the comics that I remember reading, I don't really remember Mordo being a part of the Illuminati. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't either. That's why I was trying to think. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I have to agree that the final post-credit scene was a waste. The Evil Dead references were just not necessary. Oh, I agree.
Well, that was cute. The second post-credit scene was just
but that's Raimi's buddy.
And they do that. They also do that in MCU movies all the time. They make like pop culture references. So I wasn't really surprised by that.
But I feel like the joke extended longer than it needed to too. Like, I felt like, okay, we got the joke. And even Doctor Strange said, okay, he's going to be doing that for about a month or something along those lines. Like when he started hitting himself and all that stuff, that slapstick comedy. And I felt like the joke was cool. The joke ended there. Like there was no need for it to extend beyond the ending of the movie. That was the part that kind of threw me off too. Well, you're gonna do two post-credit scenes, and you're gonna make one of them a complete throwaway based off of that. HH says, my mistake, I confused Namor with Mordo. Namor was one of the original Illuminati.
Yes, Namor.
Yes, that's what I was gonna bring up, but I was waiting to bring Namor up because I felt like they could have used that opportunity to introduce him. But he wasn't even referenced. So that kind of irritated me a little bit. That was one thing that I was really one character I was really hoping to see. And I kind of thought we would get a glimpse of the new Wolverine as well.
Yeah.
If they were going to introduce any mutants whatsoever, I thought that was where they were going to go. Did you guys feel that they let Raimi do his thing, or was it somewhat dialed back? I felt like it was dialed back a little. Raimi, I think Raimi definitely got to do what he wanted to do as far as Scarlet Witch being a cold-blooded killer.
Yeah, I mean, I like, I remember, like, I basically, besides like all the crazy cameos, there was like this person's in it, this person's in it, this person's in it, this person's in it. The one thing that, except for the thing that I accidentally was revealed to me, like confirmed revealed, and it wasn't just speculation, because I like went on Twitter and like that morning, like the first thing I saw was like the image of who was in the Illuminati, like from the movie. Like it was just a steal of the picture on Twitter. First thing. That was annoying. But the like the only things, and you didn't hear, like the rumor was that like she goes full, scale out, villain in this movie. And I thought, we'll see. I was like hoping that they would, and they really did it. Like she was crazy.
Well,
She's villain.
She was in full mom
Yes,
mom
yes.
slash
Oh,
villain
yes.
role. I
Happy
mean, it
Mother's
was
Day. And what a dime to release. Like, that was definitely intentional, too, wasn't it? Because Mother's Day, but I liked it. Like, I literally cried 3 times in this movie.
you
Like, three
cried
different times.
3 times. Oh
And
my
I
god.
cried the second time the same 3 times. And the third time just once.
Okay, what were the moments that you cried at?
Just like, oh, gosh, like her, like when she wakes up from her dream and she realizes her kids aren't there. That was like, to me, that was just so sad. And then the second time I cried was when she's actually talking to Strange, like before she like just snaps a bit. And when she's like, it's not fair, he was like, your children are not uh, real, Wanda. And she was like, you created them out of magic. And she said, she's like, doesn't every mother do that? Like, that was like a happy, like and then the last
That was
time
a good
was,
line, though. That
yeah,
was
I
a really
love
good line.
that. I really love that. And then the last time is when, obviously, when she's in the Westview home, like when America Chavez takes her there, and like she's having like that, and she's like upset, and the kids are screaming, and then she like snaps at the kid. Like, that's when I started crying, because like, and then she was like, no, no, I would never hurt you, I'm not a bad person. And then she real in that moment, it's like Wanda, who's not, corrupted by the Darkhold and the Scarlet Witch and all these things, like comes out. And then obviously she comes over and she touches her face. All of that was that.
She essentially gets her she gets her she gets her mommydom back at the end of the movie. Essentially, that was the moment, the touching of the face moment. Like, for me, was like, okay, she's gonna now she's going to feel what that other Wanda is feeling at this moment. She's gonna empathize with her.
Yes.
So
Um, Let me think here. I'm sorry.
mm,
But can you remind me again? I'm sorry. My brain's all over the place
no,
because I was gonna
no,
say
I
something.
was again
I had
thinking
a thought, and then I was.
of that scene that you just talked about, the touching of the face where she touches.
It was so beautiful, wasn't it?
It was a nice scene. It was a
Like,
nice.
and one of my favorite moments, it's not like a sad moment, it was just like a very like strong moment where I'm like, ah, like several. There's more than one that she has, but my favorite, like in the beginning, um, is when they go to Carmitage You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly probably what I'm about to say.
Hmm.
And he like goes up to meet her like when she gets there, and he was like, she was like, this is me being reasonable. Like that whole thing, like that exchange. And she was like, he was like, how are you being unreasonable? You're calling yourself a witch and you're da 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 da. And this, she says, this is me being reasonable. Like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah,
that line.
the whole reasonable narrative that was running through the movie, where like even
Yeah,
Doctor Strange was like, well, that was her being reasonable. There was all these, and
yeah.
again, for all the
And it
for the
was
bad
slightly
dialogue.
hypocritical, but some moments of dialogue were good. I like that one. Um, Also, he is a hip when she calls him a hypocrite. He is a hypocrite
Hmm.
because he thinks that he knows better than others, and and he feels that he can, dream walking. He's dream walking for the greater good, right? That's his arc.
Right.
His arc is he doesn't trust other people enough to do what needs to be done in those moments. So he feels like he always has to do it, right?
Yeah.
And then she basically calls him on it. She's like, "You're a hypocrite. You're dream walking in people, and for somehow I'm wrong. You gave the sacrifice of the time stone, to Thanos, and that was the other line that I wanted to bring up when he said something to her. She said I can't remember if she said I blew up or I ripped the love of my life's head open, and it meant absolutely nothing. That's not the exact line, but when she said that, that was another line. Like I think that she had a lot of cool lines.
Yeah,
Like she
yeah.
really
So
did.
for all the bad dialogue in the movie, there
They
were
gave
some really
they
there
gave
were
they
some really
gave they
cool
gave
lines.
Wanda some cool lines. So she
I
had a
mean,
lot of cool lines.
we got to remember everything that came out of Reed Richards' mouth was just like Drek. You were just kind of like, okay, whatever. Nobody
Yeah.
cares, Reed.
I
But
mean, but
like,
he is kind of like stoic, but he kind of like nailed, but it just didn't feel right. It just felt
didn't
like
feel
John
like Reed Richards.
Krasinski was just reading these lines in a monotone voice. I don't feel like he would. And again, I know a lot of people like, and I talked to people because we talked about this. They brought up the fact, well, he wasn't in it that much. No, but like neither was Captain Carter. But I feel like she did a good job.
Captain Carter
Haley
stood out with
Haley
the stuff
Atwell
that
did
she had.
I mean, with what she did. I feel like Professor X,
Was awesome.
he did great. Black Bolt, I mean, even though it was just like him, I mean, just like his presence, and then when he did do his, when they did that flashback scene to what happened to Thanos,
Yeah.
like him using his voice, I thought that looked really cool too, and the whispering of it, I thought that he did
Hmm.
all of that really well, and like his apology in that moment, like because he really felt bad for doing it too.
Exactly.
Like I feel like he was the only one that kind of had a sense of guilt for what happened to that version of Strange. Like everybody else was like, "Oh, it's for the greater good. He's got to go." So I got that feeling from him, even though he was barely in the movie and it was just like a split second. I feel like you could tell he felt guilty there.
Yeah.
His character did.
Yeah.
But I thought Maria looked cool, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like she just played it like at times. It was just like, why are you so like, have so much attitude in this moment?
I, yeah, I don't know. Daniel Martin says, heard there were jump scares, blood, and deaths described as a horror movie. This looks pretty unique to the MCU. Would you say this is one of the best of Phase 4 or still No Way Home?
Okay, you want me to answer that first?
Yeah.
Um, uh, like last night I did say that I think I like No Way Home more, but I need to watch No Way Home again. But I might like this movie more. I feel like I do. But like No Way Home is like different. It's hard, even though they're both MCU movies. It's like almost hard to, and they both are kind of like intertwined and interconnected because of like the stories, that the things that happen from Loki that go along the path.
Hmm.
Um, but this I might I feel like right, and I change my mind because sometimes, so I don't like. write it down in a Sharpie yet. Okay, guys, because I've
Um,
just seen the
well,
movie.
I've
I would say right now this is better.
I would say, in my opinion, No Way Home is the better movie. I like No Way Home more, but I think that this is a good movie. I was not bored at all. I found it, except when Reed Richards was talking, but I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed what they were doing. I thought the story was cool. I thought it was easy to follow, remarkably easy to follow, considering the complexities of multiple universes and timelines and different things. I felt like if you're just somebody going in and you don't really know a whole lot about these characters, things are explained to you pretty simply and pretty well, like what me and Ashley were talking about earlier. It seems like it's designed to be easily, for you to be easily plugged into it, for you to just go into the movie, get caught up right in the action, and not really, even if you don't really know a whole lot about the lore, I think you're okay. So I think one of the things that they excel at is Raimi makes a good movie with horror elements and a good story, and then also makes it easily accessible for general audiences, which is something that I think Raimi does well, because he did that. He does that well. He did that well with his, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies too. Made it easy for you as a regular general audience member to just jump right in and enjoy the movie without any real complicated stuff. In spite of the complicated backstory. What's up, Rainwater Games? Great to see you, man. Hope you're doing well tonight. Alex 3.0 says, I never thought I would see people fighting with literal music notes. Yeah, the music notes. Ashley, what do you think about that?
I liked it. I liked the musical fight. I thought it was
And
cool. At
that
first,
was
I was like, "What's happening?" But I enjoyed it because it was something different and it looked
something
cool.
different. Yeah. And Daniel Martin says, oh, yes, I heard about that scene. Alex 3.0 and Alex 3.0 scene says that scene was pure Sam Raimi. Yes, I agree. Sam Raimi did there was a lot of his little signatures in there, and I love it, which is why I think he really did have a lot of freedom, a lot of, to do certain things that he wanted to do. And I did, like when I think about this, you know, Kevin Feige gets a director as accomplished as Sam Raimi to come in and do this Doctor Strange film. You're not going to limit him. You're going to let him tell the story he wants to tell. So as long as it's within the confines of your greater MCU. So I'm pretty sure that's probably how it went down. Like, you could do whatever you want to do as long as it's within this here and it doesn't, detract from this or this. But then you can technically do whatever you want because you're dealing with the multiverse. So even though
Yeah,
we got Wanda killing people, she's killing multiverse versions of these characters. So our Reed Richards will still be out there. Our Professor X will still be out there. Our whatever, because again, this is a multiverse, and we don't know. And I think they even went as far as to give the designation of what universe they were in. There's actually numbers. One of them was 616, and one of them was, I think, 818 or something, if I'm not mistaken. Trying to remember. Let's see. That wasn't the Sinister Strange from What If. The multiverse stuff is getting confusing. Well, yeah, that's what I was
no,
hoping for. I was hoping
no,
for
it's not.
more of a
It's not Strange Supreme.
yeah. I was hoping for more of a callback to Strange Supreme, but we
I
didn't
mean,
get
you
it.
get moments of stuff. I think that they were showing those concepts in the context of the show. So when you see those things, versions of it in the film, you it wouldn't have been something new when it came to the multiversal concepts and different variants. And I mean, we did see some elements, like he used the tentacle octopus arm at one point, even though in What If it was like, a demon that he absorbed, but he has that. So yes, Earth 838.
Yes, Earth.
But they've officially named the main timeline of the MCU the 616 universe, because like in the Marvel handbook that I actually have, the A to Z, it's actually has a distinction of like 09999999999. I think it's a bunch of nines.
Awesome. And what's up, Sosa fan, bam bam with the $2 super chat. Zod, you rock. Your interviews are awesome. Keep it up. Thank you, Sosa. Appreciate you, man. Looking forward to the tournament, the Street Fighter, the movie, the game tournament tomorrow on Fightcade. Can't wait. Been practicing for that, so hopefully
That'll be fun.
There'll be a good outcome to that. But thank you.
You're gonna win it all, Zod. You'll win it all.
I don't know.
I see it.
I'm gonna try. I've been practicing this arcade game, trying to get good at it for this tournament tomorrow. Shout out Laundromat Wars. I will definitely be there. Looking forward to it. Let's see. MH says, stylistically, visually, and overall, No Way Home is a better movie than Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I feel Raimi. Yeah, I think it's a better movie. I do. I don't know. Now, Ashley, I don't know if your opinion is going to change, or if you're gonna end up liking Multiverse of Madness better. But we'll have to keep a gauge on that.
I've got to what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna I can't even give this movie a grade yet. And see, the thing is, when I watch TV shows, it's easy for me to review them and put them up. But I try my best now, because I feel like sometimes I've watched a movie and I give it too high of a score.
Mm-hmm.
Or I've had the opposite experience where I've given it too low of a score, and I'm So I really want to embrace it and think about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, keep thinking about it. I'm getting nervous because I have a feeling that you're going to end up putting this one over No Way Home at some point.
I think I am, just because
I don't know. I just think No Way Home is
specific story beats in No Way Home make less sense, even though there's plot holes here. They don't explain the incursion well enough. I feel like in the script is slightly crap at times. But I might it might be better.
I do like how they reference No Way Home in this movie. How Doctor Strange, when he mentioned Spider-Man, nobody knew who he was talking about. And I thought that was fantastic. That was a nice carryover. It was really cool. It's a really cool line.
Yes.
Sosa fam bam bam with the $5 super chat. I gotta go be a dad. Just wanted to stop by and show some love. By the way, Spawn is the best. Have a good night. Peace. Oh yeah, we're gonna Ashley and I are gonna talk about Spawn one of these days. We'll get to that. We'll get to that movie. I'm gonna take you putting Spawn in a super chat, Sosa, as a request for us to talk about Spawn, and we will one of these days, guaranteed. Daniel Martin says, "Oh yeah, Ashley, Ultimates is Earth 1610. I wish they went in sequential order. It's like the titles of alien planets, LV 426.
I know.
Yeah.
But hey, confirmation is 616. We've been calling it 616 for a while, and it's definitely 616.
Sosa fam bam bam daddy duties. Yes. So I will say that I enjoyed this movie. I'm glad I watched it. And from a comic book fan perspective, I think it was cool. It was just nice to see these characters pop up. All the cameos, even though I was, like I said, bored with Reed Richards, I was glad he was there. It was nice to see him there. It was nice to see someone in a Fantastic Four costume. I just, to actually acknowledge that, yes, the Fantastic Four are eventually coming. And it was great to see
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Stewart as Professor Xavier again. And I really didn't have a problem with Captain Marvel. I thought she did okay. I thought she was a lot more interesting in this movie than Brie Larson is in Captain Marvel. But that's just my view. I think Brie Larson was horrible in that role, but we'll talk about that movie when we get to that movie. But overall thoughts, though, yeah, Multiverse of Madness is a very pleasant, and as well as
What is it? Pleasant?
pleasant laced with horror elements.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
Wanda is an absolute beast.
She's a
Scarlet
beautiful.
Witch,
She's a
she is an
beautiful
absolute beast.
genius, and she did nothing wrong.
Okay, well, you heard it here. There
Shout
you
out to
go. She was
yeah,
the hero of this story.
the
Okay,
hero.
that's what you need to realize.
Yes.
Oh my
Hashtag.
goodness. Yes, absolutely a
If you didn't
hero.
know, there's my WandaVision pin. You know.
Okay, nice.
Hashtag. Save
Very
Wanda.
nice. Save Wanda.
Protect
Well,
Wanda at all
okay. Do
costs.
you think now? So, do you think overall that this movie did Wanda and did Scarlet Witch justice?
Oh, I think it did. I mean, I wish that like some of her like some of the fighting scenes. Now and I've seen it the second time because the first time I remember thinking, oh no, this some of them work. I wish that some of it could have we could have had like a convertage. We could have had like a lot of more red energy. But other than
Mhm.
that, I thought I think they did a really good job with her. I think
Hashtag
Olivia
not enough
Olsen,
red energy.
yes, you know me in the red. I gotta have it. You know, my old girl used the red. Now that she's gone out of the MCU, now my new girl's the red. It's like I was just like, I stick to the girls with the red.
And this is my favorite comment of the night so far. They should have brought back Roger Corman's Fantastic Four for the multiverse variants. I
No.
agree. I agree 100%. I would have loved to have seen them in there. That would have been so cool. For me, being a super fan of that movie, I would have loved to have seen them. And see, this was all my hype in my head. Like, I was thinking, this is Sam Raimi. We're gonna see 10 million MCU cameos. We're gonna see all types of crazy stuff. I half expected to see Hugh Jackman pop up. I thought like Ashley that we were going to get a Deadpool cameo, or
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
least at the very least a Deadpool reference. Um, there was things I just as far that's why I say I was kind of underwhelmed by the cameos, because I felt like there was nothing that we pretty much everything we got was telegraphed ahead of time, with the exception of Superior Iron Man. That was the one for me that was notable, that was omitted, that I thought for sure was going to be in the movie. Um,
Yeah.
I mean,
Not me, but
everybody
I
was
didn't think
saying
he
it.
was. I knew he wasn't going to be there.
Really, you knew?
I said it. I've been saying it. There's so many clips of me saying, no, he's not going to be there.
Oh, let's see, Ashley. We've got the same type of heroes. More red,
Yeah.
more red. Yes, more red.
Yes. More red. More red. Yes.
Hashtag more red. So
Now you're a
I'm
superhero too. Don't forget
so
it.
what movie were they setting up at the end of this movie? Were they
I think we're
setting up
good.
Doctor Strange
Secret.
3
I mean,
or
like they're
Secret
obviously
Wars?
setting up Doctor Strange 3 or whatever's coming next, but like the end goal is Secret Wars because I mean they're talking because she's like you caused an incursion and we know incursion goals two planets, and they're instead of running and he's running towards it, but I don't know if they're going to make it like I don't think they can save both planets. I mean universes, you know what I mean? Like it's not going to happen. Like, and I feel like that obviously we have Kane here, coming, and I think that he's going to be the one over Battle World. probably, maybe. I mean, it could be Doctor Doom because I feel like Doctor Doom is coming.
Well, we got Reed Richards, so we'll probably get Doctor
But I
Doom.
feel like, but Kang is already coming sooner, so I feel like they're building him up. So and we already know he's over the TVA, and he's the one that's worried about clipping these branches. He's the one that, I mean, he remains talked about a multiversal war. So I feel like a version of him is going to be the one that's orchestrating it all. He's going to be the big bad
Nice.
of this, of that.
Well, I hope you're right, and because
Oh,
a lot of the
I've
stuff
been right before.
that you've mentioned, a lot of the stuff that you mentioned came true. So, I mean, yeah. Well, that's the thing, Ashley. You know your stuff. You're on top of all
Yeah.
this. So we, I'm I guess, like I said, I was really hoping Marcus Cruz would be in the chat tonight because
Oh, he was in Max's chat.
I wanted to I wanted to talk a little bit. I wanted to get his whole perspective on the whole John Krasinski thing because he's been saying it for so
He was
long.
happy he was there.
And to see it finally
I don't think he got it. I
happen.
don't think he got enough because I feel like he said the other day the movie sucked. Because he didn't get enough.
Sounds like this was.
It's like a
really
mixed bag. That's the
received.
thing. Right now, and it's got a B+ on Cinema Score. But the horror element films always bring it down a bit. Also, another thing I would say, real quick, Zod, is that everybody talks about, MCU is so formulaic and whoop-de-whoop whoop, but when they get something different, they're like, this doesn't feel like an MCU movie. Or like the overhyping of like thinking that all these things are going to happen and overselling yourself. And then when you get to the movie and it's not there.
Something's very similar happened with WandaVision, though. Everybody had all these crazy predictions for WandaVision.
Well, they weren't scoops, though, either. Those were theories. At least those were theories, right? And speculation of like.
But my whole thing about the scoops is what scoops about Multiverse of Madness? I mean, I think about the only scoop that I was hearing that people got wrong was Tom Cruise as Superior Iron
Cruise, Man. Deadpool, mutant introductions. Some people said Wolverine was in the movie. I mean, like there were so many crazy things that like so many different people were saying. Like all of them. And they were like, oh yeah. It was so much stuff.
To see Mr. Fantastic and then see him turned into spaghetti noodles and wonder how Marcus feels about that.
I think he said the movie was trash.
Probably because of that. Because they killed his beloved Mr. Fantastic, John Krasinski.
It was not just Mr. Fantastic, it's John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
Right. It was everything.
A combination of both.
It was everything that Marcus Cruz ever wanted. Honestly, he's been talking about it at least on my streams and my chats for many, many months now. So this was one thing that I was the first thing that popped into my mind when I saw Mr. Fantastic and it was John Krasinski. That was the first thing that popped into my head, like justice for Marcus. Marcus was right. There it is. There he is. But he looked like he just kind of phoned it in. Like he wasn't really into it. He's just like, yeah, I'll be your boring, droll Mr. Fantastic. Whatever. But yeah, wow. Ashley.
Yes.
So is it better? Is this movie? Here's the $1 million question of tonight's weekly comic book movies. Is this movie better than the Batman?
I don't know. I said last night it is, but I don't know. I have to really think about
that. It is.
Like, I don't want to be like saying like making sweeping statements. Like, I really need to I really want to take them in again. Like, I've already taken this in 3 times, but what I'm saying is I need to watch the Batman again to really. I need to watch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to watch Moon Knight. I'm not Moon Knight. Excuse me. I'm going to watch Spiderman No Way Home again, and the Batman again. and then I will be able to make a determination on that, because I feel like I really like the Batman, and I think the script is better in the Batman. But the pacing in the third act for me is a mess. And to me here with this movie, the pacing is fine, even though at times, because of how the pacing is, I feel like something might be missing. But the script is slightly, dodgy and questionable, and the dialogue at times just doesn't feel natural. Um, and I get it's because it's like Sammy and it's like slightly campy at times or whatever, but it to me it like throws you off. So I have to look at them, and that's why. And then like with No Way Home, for me, silly dialogue, silly plot things that don't make sense, and decisions that are made, and also so I got to think about it, you know. Right now, I feel like they're almost in a three-way tie, you know.
Alex 3.0. Better question: is Doctor Strange 1 or Doctor Strange 2?
Oh, the second one. I love the first one. I absolutely love the first one so much. I always say it's
I
so
do too.
underrated.
I've
I've always
watched
said
the
it's
first one.
underrated.
I've watched the first one quite a bit. I love that movie. I can watch
I
the
love
first
it.
one anytime.
But the
I
second one,
would.
I really love it. And like again, I
Uh,
really like the second one. I feel like the villain is better in the second film. I feel like that this film was a little bit more original in the styling and the visuals, because as much as I love Doctor Strange in 2016, I felt like it was kind of like the MCU's Inception. So that's why I feel like the take is more visually appealing and more original here. And it's also, I feel like there's a better villain. And just overall the cast is better, and the story's better.
and we got a $5 super chat from Daniel Martin. No pressure, Ashley. No pressure. Multiverse of Madness is greater than the Batman. Yes. I agree 100% with Daniel here. I think that Multiverse of Madness is better than the Batman. I'm a little bit torn. I might have to see it again to say if it's better than Doctor Strange 1, to answer your question from my perspective, Alex 3.0, because I really like the first Doctor Strange movie. I like
Oh,
that
I love it.
the story was more personal, more about Doctor Strange, and more focused
This
more on
film was
him.
about him
And we
too,
got
though. Like, it's what people don't
no. But we
understand
got.
that
But
you.
what
I
I'm
think.
saying is, we got to see him more. We got to see him as a doctor. We got to see him as a we got to see his origin and all that. There was a lot of things I just absolutely love about the movie. I'm not going to crap on either one. I thought both of those movies were excellent. So it's hard for me to say which Doctor Strange movie is better, though, only because I love the first one so much.
Yeah.
Big fan of the first one. And Fighters Evolution, what's up, man? Says just came home from the movie theater. Doctor Strange 2 was good. I don't want to give it away, but I felt like it focused more on Scarlet Witch. I felt like it went by quick.
It did feel like
It did.
it did feel like, but yeah, I feel like I wanted more.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what a good movie is supposed to do. It's supposed to make you want more. It's supposed to make you feel. So, in that regard, I would say that Doctor Strange 2 does that in spades.
Hmm.
I mean, it just makes you want more, makes you excited. And that's why I feel like it was kind of a wasted opportunity with that second credit scene that they did, where it just kind of was a callback to a
Sometimes they
joke.
do a lot of joke ones, and I thought it
Yeah.
was cool, but I get it. Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
like a fun one,
Yeah.
because they don't want to show all their, their eggs
They
right
didn't
now.
they didn't want to
You
they
can't,
didn't
you
want to
can't show
give us
all their
that
cards.
they
They can't
didn't want to
show us
give us that
everything.
star-studded shot of the Fantastic
Or
Three
a
mourning
Deadpool,
the death of Mr. Fantastic, or Deadpool. Yeah. Why wasn't Deadpool in this movie? That's the question I want to know. Why wasn't there a Deadpool cameo in this movie? It seemed like the perfect place for it because it's a multiverse. So, oh yeah, and how about this one? Thank you for bringing that up, Fighters Evolution. Yeah, pizza rolls, pizza balls. Do you want to try pizza balls someday?
I don't eat pizza.
Pizza balls would be just probably just be
I don't
dough
even
with.
eat pizza
Oh,
though.
you don't
So
eat pizza? Okay, all right. Oh, well, that's.
yeah. I mean, unless it's like gluten-free crust and
Hmm.
vegan cheeses on it.
Okay, okay. So what's your favorite food now? Huh? What?
Raw almonds.
Raw almonds. Well, I'm allergic to nuts, so I can't eat those.
Yeah.
Wow.
I eat these. And I like sushi, like vegetable sushi. Like I don't eat meat and stuff. So
No one tried to help poor Bruce Campbell from punching himself for 3 weeks. Yeah, I clearly, but at least Alex, at least it stopped at the end of the movie. So at least we got at least maybe they're not going to carry it on. They won't carry it on for. It would have been funny if they would have left it, and then in Doctor Strange 3, you get a scene where that guy is still punching himself. Now I think that would have been funnier. That would have been better than paying it off at the end of the movie with
see,
the
I'm
credit.
like, what I want is I want like Bruce Campbell just to make all the cameos in the MCU moving forward.
Take over for Stan Lee. I agree.
Yeah.
I think that would be appropriate because Bruce Campbell's a funny dude. Fighters
Yeah.
Evolution. At least it stopped after 3 weeks. Yeah, yeah, because it could have went on indefinitely.
Yeah.
Strange
What's three
Things is
weeks? I mean, like, he could, anybody could deal with that for 3 weeks, right? Nobody would go crazy.
three, three, three Stooges like slapstick stuff going on for 3 weeks. Yeah, banging your head into things.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. But overall, I think the movie is another solid entry, especially after coming off of No Way Home. I think they did a good job. I really liked it.
What is
They,
the S mark?
oh yeah, from Evil Dead.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That would have been awesome. That would have been awesome, Daniel. I wish they would have went
Oof.
with that. That would have been cool. Would have been something that. But again, that would have been a reference to something a lot of other people probably wouldn't have
Yeah.
got though.
I forgot the name of the store. I was like S mark.
From Evil Dead, yeah.
Yeah, I've only seen it once though, so maybe that's why. I need to watch it again.
The next movie, Doctor Strange 3, Too Fast and Furious. Could be. Might as
Maybe.
well. Might as well. I mean, it was a quick movie, easy to watch, easy to follow, and entertaining. Good performances, all except Mr. Fantastic. Um, um, so what's next? What's next?
The next movie,
Yeah, what's next?
Thor: Love and Thunder, July 6th, ladies and gentlemen. Zod is going to be camping out for 3 days
Oh,
because he's so
I
excited.
can't. I'm so excited for that movie. I can't wait.
Even though he can get his tickets in advance, he's still going
Finally,
to go to the theater and sleep there
finally,
because he can't wait. He's so
finally,
excited.
finally, a comic book accurate Thor movie. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah, he's going to go to the first showing possible.
It'll be a family type of movie. Oh yeah, yeah. Another Doctor Strange family friendly.
I mean, no, it will be about family because, I mean, she is the niece of Dormammu, and I believe he's coming back. She might start having a relationship with Strange, so it will be about family at that point, won't it? Maybe.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think we could give our final thoughts on this movie. From a comic book perspective, I think the movie was cool. It was nice to see all of these other characters pop up again. I was happy with the cameos for the most part. I thought they were good. Um, and the story was enjoyable. So, and the visuals were definitely straight out of a comic book. Those were some great comic book visuals. Oh my goodness. What about you, Ashley? Your final thoughts on Multiverse of Madness?
It was good, fun, good movie, but I'm curious, the farther we get away from this movie, what are people going to say? You're going to remember it, or is it going to be like, because I think that because everybody's, a lot of people and I, we heard Multiverse of Madness, and then after people saw No Way Home, they were convinced that they were going to see a lot of things happening in this movie. So I'm curious to see where it lands, but I feel like that you have to remember that this is early in a phase where people are setting things up. But overall, I liked it, enjoyed it. I love Doctor Strange and Wanda. They're my favorite characters now in the MCU. So I was really hyped to see this movie, and I enjoyed it. So that's my final thought.
Yeah, and I cannot wait for Thor. I'm excited. Love
He's
and
super
Thunder.
excited.
It's gonna be great. I am
He's
gonna be
sleeping at the
right
theater, ladies and
right there with
gentlemen. I'm
you.
telling you.
So the big question of the show, though, we have to ask is, what movie are we going to talk about next week?
Oh gosh, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay. So that's the movie we'll be talking about next week. We'll be talking about Spider-Man Homecoming here on Weekly Comic Book Movies with Ashley the Widow and ZodWriter. So definitely tune in for that. Ashley, can you tell us what you've got coming up?
Well, guys, guess what? So now I've met my goal since I've been making content on my channel again. I got 503 subs, so that's good. Yay, Ashley! I'm joking. But tomorrow we're gonna be talking about Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. So that's gonna be fun.
Again. Cool.
Yes, it's that time, It's like, what are we talking about? What's happening? Multiverse of Madness. It's the telethon. Happening all weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Tell your friends, your neighbors, if they want to hear about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, go on YouTube. They'll be everywhere.
Absolutely. And if you haven't, and if you're here watching this show, if you're here watching Weekly Comic Book Movies, Ashley and I try to do this show every week. That's why it's called Weekly Comic Book Movies.
Yes.
And if you haven't subscribed to Ashley, please make sure and do so, because with Ashley at 500, now the goal is to get her to 1,000 subs. So let's make that happen. And like, share, subscribe, and definitely subscribe to Ashley the Widow. That's 100%.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fighters Evolution says congrats, and Daniel Martin says congrats on 500, Ashley. Yes.
Thank you so much,
And
Fighters
Fighters
Evolution.
Evo said, found it in the description and just subbed. Yes, you will.
Thank you so
love
much.
Ashley's content. Ashley is awesome. That there's a reason we do this show, because Ashley is awesome.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You're awesome, Zod.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate it.
And so, yeah, next week we're going to talk about Spider-Man Homecoming. Should be an interesting discussion. So you're going to want to be here for that. And as for me, you'll be catching me tomorrow over at the Laundromat Wars over on Your Average Gamers YouTube channel. We're having a Street Fighter the movie, the game tournament tomorrow. Oh, wow. And they're competing. We're competing for prizes. It's going to be fun. I'm in the tournament. I've got a match. I've got a match sometime tomorrow night. So if you guys
want to
tune into that, and you want to see me, you want to see me get killed.
You all have to cheer him on. So you will win.
I've been trying.
You believe it, it will happen. You got to believe it first.
And Fighters Evolution says, I'm a Marvel and comics fan, so I'll tune in when I can. Absolutely. Fighters Evolution's favorite video game of all time is Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. Wait, Marvel superheroes versus, is it Marvel versus Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter? Yes, yes, Marvel versus Marvel. Yeah, yeah, which is a very fun arcade game. Hope you don't hope hope we don't get paired up, Zod. Well, Fighters Evo, yeah. If I have to face you, I know I'm gonna lose. So we'll see. But I am playing with, I'm gonna play with my Mortal Kombat fight stick. I'm gonna have the half buttons and sticks. So I've been practicing. So I should be in good shape. I don't know, if anybody will be using a hitbox or any of those exploits that we talked about, but hey, it is what it is. It should be fun. I'm excited. So tune into Laundromat Wars, and then on Sunday, I have a late night Q&A with, I'll be, and my special guest will be the YouTuber, the gaming YouTuber Turbo Joe. So definitely tune in for that this Sunday. And also on Sunday, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day, Ashley.
Oh, thank you.
Fighters Evo says, as long as you have fun, that's all that matters. Yes, that's all that matters. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and end tonight's episode of Weekly Comic Book Movies. Like I said, once again, please tune in to Ashley. Please subscribe to Ashley. It's all about Ashley. And we will be back with another episode next Friday night. Good night, everybody.
Bye.